Today we will discuss about introduction to instrumentation system. So this is the block diagram of introduction to instrumentation system. We can see different types of blocks here. First, the quantity to be measured is given to the primary sensing element. Now question is, what is the quantity to be measured? So quantity may be any physical quantity, for example, uh, temperature, pressure, or displacement. So any quantity is given to the primary sensing element, and primary sensing element is nothing but transducer. Now question is, what is transducer? So transducer is a device which converts physical quantity into electrical quantity, or we can say that it is a device which converts non-electrical quantity into electrical quantity. So this is the function of transducer. Then the output of transducer is given to the variable conversion element. So what is the need of variable conversion element? See, variable conversion, it means it will convert one variable into another variable. So, for example, our measuring system is a digital type, and the output from the primary sensing element is in the analog form. Then our system will not work. Digital system will not work in analog input. So we have to convert this analog output coming from the primary sensing element, and we have to convert this analog to the digital, and for this we have to use analog to digital converter. So this thing is known as variable conversion element. It may be reversed. It means if the measuring system requires analog input and our output from primary sensing element is in the digital form, then we have to convert digital to analog conversion. So this is the variable conversion element, and output of variable conversion element is given to the variable manipulation element. In a variable manipulation element, we will change the level of the signal. It means if the signal from the variable conversion element is very low and our requirement is very high, then we have to increase the level of the signal. In other case, if the variable conversion element output is very high and our requirement is very low, then we have to reduce the level of the signal. So this thing is possible with the use of variable manipulation element, and both these variable conversion element and variable manipulation elements are known as data conditioning elements, because in these blocks the data is conditions. So some process is done on data, so it is known as data conditioning element. Then, and one more thing, this variable manipulation element may be before the variable conversion element. It is as per our requirement. So it is not that after variable conversion, variable manipulation must be there. Its location may change here before variable conversion element also. Okay, now the output from variable manipulation element is given to the data transmission element. So data transmission, it means for example, some devices are are at different locations. Then we have to transmit the data from one location to another. So for this we have to use data transmission element. Then output from data transmission element is given to data presentation element. So data presentation, it means generally there is a display. Display is the one presentation element. So it is not only display, so many devices are there for presentation, but generally LCD or display is used for this. And here is a data storage and playback element. So what is need of data storage? See, and we can see two arrows from here and here to here. It means it is not just that data is only stored. We can use stored data also for measurement or feedback purposes. So data storage is required in a, for example, energy meter. We have to integrate the reading of whole month. So for this purpose, we have to store the data. So energy meter is an example of data storage device. So data storage device is used in so many instruments. We have to take records of the different types of instruments. For this purpose, we can use data storage and playback element. And the last one is observer. Observer is nothing but people's any people that will observe. It means people will observe all these things. So this is the observer. And these blocks, last three blocks are known as presentation element. It means it is all these things are used for presentation. So it is a data presentation element. So this is the basic functional block diagram of instrumentation system. Now we will discuss about classification of transducer. So what is first of all we will see what is transducer. So transducer is a device which convert physical quantity to be measured into equivalent electrical signal. Or in other words, we can say that a transducer is a device which converts non-electrical quantity into electrical quantity. So it is clear now. We will see classification of transducer. So first we will see active transducers. Now what is active transducer? In an active transducer there is no requirement of external source. So we can say it is a self-generating type transducer, and it is divided into so many transducers we will see in this discussion. So in an active transducer, it is a self-generating type transducer and no external energy source is required for the operation of the active transducer. Now we will see different. First one is photovoltaic transducer. So nowadays rooftop solar power plant is very famous, and it works based on the photovoltaic principle. And in a solar panel there is photovoltaic cells. So this is the photovoltaic cell. Photovoltaic cell, principle of photovoltaic cell is to convert solar radiation into electrical signal. So there is no external source or energy source required for this. So photovoltaic cell is one type of active transducer. Then thermoelectric type transducer. It means, for example, thermocouple. Thermocouple is one transducer for measurement of temperature. So this is the thermoelectric type transducer, which converts temperature into electrical signal. Then piezoelectric transducer. It is also active transducer. A piezoelectric transducer works on the principle that when the displacement or pressure is given to the piezoelectric crystal, then it will convert into the electrical signal. Then electromagnetic transducer. So in this type of transducer, we are using the electromagnetic principle in the operation of this type of transducer. Another one is chemical type transducer. For example, battery. Battery is lead acid battery, and so many batteries are available. So different batteries are one type of chemical transducer. It will convert chemical into the battery. Means some chemical processes are there, and output will be electrical voltage or electrical signal. And some other types of transducers are also available, but in this our discussion we will see only this, and we will see this type of transducer, piezoelectric and thermoelectric, this type of transducers in some details in next chapters. Now, passive transducers. So, opposite of the active transducer is passive transducer. It means in a passive transducer there is a external energy source is required, and it is not a self-generating type transducer. So, passive transducers are classified in different bases. First, we will see in a variable resistance type transducer. So, its name suggests that the principle of this transducer will be based on the resistance variation. One type of variable resistance transducer is strain gauge. So, strain gauge is the variable resistance type transducer and is a passive type transducer. It means external energy source is required for operation of this transducer. So, strain gauge is converts the physical distance or linear distance into the electrical signal. We will see in the next chapter about strain gauge. So many types of strain gauge are available. So we will see in some details. Another one is thermistor. Thermistor means we can say it is a thermal resistor, and it is used for measurement of temperature. So this one is also we can see in detail in subsequent chapters. Then potentiometric transducer. We know the principle of potentiometer. It is a variable resistor. Simple, we can say that it is a variable resistor. By moving the arm of potentiometer, we can vary the resistor. Then photoconductors. So photoconductors is also works on the principle of variable resistance. So these are the types of variable resistance transducer. Now variable reactance type transducer. Friends, we know that two types of reactance are available in electricity. One is inductance and another one is capacitance. So in this case we will see inductive transducer and capacitive transducers. In inductive type there are three types of transducers available. First one is LVDT. LVDT means linear variable differential transformer. So LVDT is the example of variable reactance type transducer, and it is an inductive type transducer. And for the operation of LVDT, there is an external power source is required. So it is a passive type transducer. Another one is variable reluctance type transducer. And next is variable permeability type transducer. But most common type is LVDT. It is very common in inductive transducer. Another one is capacitive transducer. So we are using the principle of capacitance in a capacitive transducer. It means if we say that in a parallel plate capacitor, the capacitance is based on the distance between parallel plates, and type of plates, area of plates. So all these things are there. So using this we can use capacitive transducer. Another one is optoelectronic transducer. So optoelectronic is we are using some rays in these optoelectronics devices. First one is photoemissive. Photoemissive means there is some light is emits from the transducer. For example, LED, light emitting diode. It is a photoemissive device. Then photoconductive. The reverse of photoemissive or opposite of photoemissive is photoconductive. It means it will catch up the light. So these two type of transducers are covered in the optoelectronics devices. Then last one is Hall effect transducer. So Hall effect transducer is also passive transducer because there is also external sources required, and we will see in detail this transducer in the subsequent chapters. So these are the some passive transducers. So what is the difference between active and passive transducers? We have already seen that active transducers are self-generating type transducers and there is no requirement of any external power source. In a passive transducer, it is not a self-generating transducer. It means there is a external power source is required to operate these transducers. So this is the classification of transducer. Classification of transducer is continuous. Primary transducers. So what is primary transducer? This transducer converts physical quantity to be measured into mechanical signal. So this one is called as primary transducer. Why it is known as a primary transducer? Because the quantity to be measured is given to this transducer. So it is known as a primary transducer. Diaphragm is the example of primary transducer because diaphragm is a pressure transducer. So diaphragm will convert pressure into the displacement. So input of diaphragm will be the pressure and output will be the displacement. And displacement is nothing but mechanical signal. So primary transducer works in this principle. Now secondary transducer. So working principle of this transducer is to convert mechanical signal into electrical signal. So using secondary transducer we get electrical signal in the output. The example of secondary transducer is LVDT. It means linear variable differential transformer. What is the principle of LVDT? Mechanical signal, it means displacement. We have take example of displacement. So LVDT will convert a displacement into electrical signal. It means equivalent to the displacement we get equivalent electrical signal. So this is the secondary transducer, and both these transducers work in the single instrument. It means there is a first primary transducer and then secondary transducer we are using. So using these two-way conversions, finally we get electrical signal. So these are the primary and secondary transducers. Then analog transducer. What is analog transducer? So output of this type of transducer is in analog form. What is analog form? It is a continuous function of time. It means, for example, if we are talking about sine wave, then we can say that it is an analog signal. Why? Because if the time is increases, time is changes, then the amplitude is also changes. So at a particular time there is a particular amplitude. So it means it is a continuous function of time. So sine wave is the example of analog signal. Examples of analog transducers are thermocouple, then LVDT, strain gauge is also we can include here. So output of thermocouple is not in a digital form or in a discrete form. It is vary with time and it is a continuous function of time. So these are known as analog transducers. Then digital transducer. Output of the digital transducers is in the form of digital form. It means it is in the form of digital pulses discrete in time. For example, if we are talking about square wave, this type of pulses are there in a. So this is the if we get this type of output, then we can say that it is a digital transducer. So amplitude is fixed for some time. So this type of signal is known as discrete in time. So many examples are there for digital transducers. For example, counter, then some recorders are also there. So these are some examples of digital transducer. Then inverse transducer. We know the principle of transducer. What is the principle of transducer? It converts physical or non-electrical quantity into the electrical signal. It is the principle of transducer. So, principle of inverse transducer is just reverse of the principle of transducer. It means it converts electrical quantity into non-electrical quantity. So this is the principle of inverse transducer. Example of inverse transducer is piezoelectric transducer. Now question is, piezoelectric is also a transducer. So yes, piezoelectric is also a transducer, and we can also say that it is also a inverse transducer. Why? Because see, principle of piezoelectric is whenever the pressure is applied to piezoelectric crystal, then the dimensions are changed and we can get output voltage. And in reverse, whenever we are giving the output voltage to the piezoelectric crystal, then its dimensions are changed. So it means it converts electrical to non-electrical quantity. So we can piezoelectric is also an inverse transducer. So this is the case. There are some other examples are also there, but this is one example of inverse transducer. So this is all about classification of transducer. Now we will see advantages of electrical transducer. The electrical signal can be easily amplified or attenuated with the help of static device. Now, what is the meaning of amplified? Amplified means we can increase the level of the signal. So, the process of increasing the amplitude of a signal is known as amplification. So, we can easily amplify any signal, or attenuation. Attenuation means reduce the signal. So it is the reverse of amplification, it is known as attenuation. So electrical signal can be easily amplified or attenuated with the help of static device. Now what is meaning of static device? Static means there is no moving parts. It is a stationary. So using static device, we are using amplification and attenuation. So losses are minimized. Losses are minimized. Second point is the effects of friction are minimized. Same point here, because of a static, there is no friction losses. Friction losses are introduced in the dynamic systems. If in any system there are moving parts, then the friction losses are introduced. So effects of friction are minimized in this case, and power requirement is very small. See, in a mechanical type transducer, there is a large energy and power is required. But in electrical transducer, the power requirement is very less. So 5 volt is enough for the operation of electrical transducer. The effect of mass inertia are minimized. So this is also a mechanical term. So in electrical transducer, these problems are minimized. The electrical signal can be easily transmitted and processed for the purpose of measurement. We can transmit electrical signal through small conducting wires. Okay, so it is very easy. On the other hand, if the mechanical system is there, then transmission of mechanical signal is very complicated and rigid construction. But in electrical case, we can easily transmit and process the signal. Then no mechanical wear and tear losses. So wear and tear losses are also minimized, or it is not there because there is no moving parts. Electrical and electronic systems are compact, then have less weight and are portable. So these are the advantages we can use in any system. Size is very, because of compact size, weight is also less, and it is a portable device. We can shift anywhere. So these are the main advantages of electrical transducer. There are some disadvantages also. One disadvantage is cost. Cost of the electrical transducers is slightly more than the other transducers. So it is a, we can say, limitation or constraint of this, and design features is also somewhat complicated because we have to use we have to calculate aging effects and atmospheric conditions and all these things. So it may be complicated in design of electrical transducer. So these are the advantages of electrical transducers. Now we will see basic requirements of transducers. So this thing is important for the selection of the transducer at any place. First requirement is nature of measurement. It means we must know the nature of the quantity to be measured. For example, there is a capacitive, we are using capacitive transducer, then the capacitive sensor is used for this. So this is the nature. So for different types of measurement, we have to consider the nature of measurement. Then cost and availability. This is very important thing because if cost is very high as compared to the instrument, then it is not convenient for us. And availability. If the transducer is not available easily, then also it is a problem. So before selecting any transducer, we have to keep in mind cost and availability, simplicity of transducer, then reliability and low maintenance. So these are the points we have to consider while selecting the transducer. Another one is measuring system compatibility. So what is meaning of compatibility? See, transducer selected must be compatible with the electrical system used. It means it can easily coordinate or coordinate with the electrical system. The output impedance of the transducer and the measuring system must not affect each other. Sometimes the output impedance of one system affects the output, performance of the next system. So this type of things is not allowed in measuring system. So this is known as measuring system compatibility. Then loading effect. So loading effect should be minimum, otherwise the error may be introduced in the system. So loading effect should be minimum. Then environmental considerations. Output may affect due to electromagnetic interference, then shocks, vibrations, then temperature changes. So these are the environmental conditions we have to keep in mind while selecting the transducer. So generally temperature changes are there in an industrial environment. So we have to keep in mind these things while selecting transducers. Another one is operating range. So should provide good resolution and range. If the instrument is going to use in the military, then operating range should be high as compared to the normal operating range. So this is the thing or point we have to keep in mind while selecting transducer. Another one is sensitivity. So sensitivity should be high. It means as high as possible is good for any transducer. So these are the points we have to keep in mind. We can say that these are the basic requirements of the transducers. And also whenever we are selecting any transducer for any particular system, then we have to keep all these things in mind. So this is all about basic requirements of transducer. Thank you.